a record of this. I'm gonna make available to everybody, and of course AI. And I want to just kind of set the pace on. I appreciate you all coming and being with me here on this Thought Leaders Zoom call. All of you that are here play an intricate part on the kingdom of God in your respected location. And every one of you, I've had the privilege of engaging in your business or ministry and then of course whether you build a relationship and get to know each other, totally fine, be a great place to network. And even though some of your items may or may not collide or may not have any type of synergies, but they may. And so it's always good to see what the Lord is going to do. There's some things that I'm going to show you during this time, and I've set aside 2 hours, even though that may be in some cases may be too much, in other cases it may not be enough. But we're just going to decide however that is, and we're going to let this be a conversation for the purpose of being able to hear what is the Lord telling you about the future of what's what is it that you need, maybe some advice and direction. My purpose of this is to help give you the tools to prosper and to grow your businesses, because all of you have called and have asked and have had opportunity to ask me any type of question, whether it be ministry or business or what have you. And so I said, I repeat myself a couple of times because the advice, good or bad, is always the same in many cases, just in different verticals, each one of you a different vertical. And so I just wanted to have a place where I think we can come together and put our heads together and be successful in what the Lord has called us to do and how we can add to each other. The Bible says that we are living stones that are fitly joined together, feeding into each other's needs and wants. Meaning, I've always seen it like this. This is it's like hills and valleys. Our hand. When I walk with my wife, I don't walk with my wife holding her hand like this. I walk with my wife holding her hand like this, and it allows us to lock hands together
Mm.
where it's hard for us to be separated. Like this, we can be
Mhm.
separated, but like this, when the mountaintop of the finger and the valley of the finger collides with the mountaintop
Mhm.
and a valley, we can lock ourselves together and be very, very strong. And we can become like one bind. And the Bible says in the book of Psalms, chapter 2, that the nations, they rage and they plot a vain thing where they want to destroy the cords or the connections of the body of Christ together. And so I don't want to, this is not a time for me to be preaching, but it's a time for me to be able to give you an opportunity to share some items of your heart that maybe each of us will be able to glean. I'll moderate, I'll provide. I want you to feel comfortable to ask me any kinds of questions that you may have of your business, of your ministry, advice that you may need. I want to give it to you. There's tools that I want to turn you loose with that we're going to talk about that I think will be advantageous to be able to talk about. But let's begin with a word of prayer, and then I'm going to introduce everybody to each other, and then we'll begin. Is that okay?
Perfect.
That's perfect.
Wonderful. Perfect. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, I just thank you for your thought leaders, leaders that have great minds and interests to be able to expand their business and grow their opportunities in ministry. And Father, these that are here with us and those that couldn't come on and may come on here shortly, we ask you to bless them, bless their businesses and their activities, bless their pocketbooks, as you call their kneading bowl, and their storehouses. And Father, I so desire to see your presence and your power grow their bank accounts for them to have a stability of leadership, that they shall grow as a leader of their family, a leader of their friends, leader of their organization, and leader of the community. Father, we just ask for this right now in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, let me tell you who we have here. And so first, I'm going to introduce Martin Camacho. He's with Camacho Productions. Martin and I have been friends and business acquaintance and relations from 99 to 2000, right about. And he and I are inseparable. Many of y'all may have heard me say, we have organization in Florida. It's all wrapped around Martin Camacho. And Martin, say hello if you can.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to share with all of you, and then looking forward to tonight.
And Martin, I want to thank you so much for the Dallas Cowboys over your shoulder that I can stare at you a
I,
lot and
I'm looking
follow
up,
after
have a mirror on the side. I can see the score.
that.
Ha 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 ha.
Martin gave me a good word of advice. Says, Clark, the only word of advice I got to give you right now is Monday Night Football. Really? And I said, well, I thought to myself, football doesn't pay my bills. So, but Martin is just powerful. And then next in line, I want to talk about Pat Huck. Pat, you remember Martin Camacho? He used to be there in the office there in
That's
Great.
right. Yeah, I met him there. Yes.
Yep,
Great to
and
see you again.
yep, and
Good
Pat
to be
is
seen.
yeah, it's good to be seen. Pat just
Alive
came
and
back
kicking.
from New Zealand.
Yes.
Wife is from.
Yes. And way down. Let me get out of the way of the map. You can see it's way down there.
Yeah,
Right.
see it way down the other
This
side.
way.
There you go.
Yeah.
Get turned
Yeah.
around there. And his lovely wife is New Zealand. Pat was a Navy man, and obviously he wasn't going to marry an American while being on the water, seeing the world. God had other plans for him. Married a beautiful, beautiful woman there from New Zealand. And how long you been married now?
45 years, Clark.
Yeah,
We've been
praise God.
married. We got married in New Zealand. I was working with the Antarctic Research Program in the Navy, but with a paycheck from the National Science Foundation.
Yes.
So we supported the Antarctic research and getting scientists back and forth to Antarctica. So I met a lot of VIPs, dignitaries, congressmen, boondogglers,
Well,
scientists, you name it.
that's awesome. And Pat is a board member of a television station in the Killeen, Belton,
Yes.
Waco area, and conversation that Martina and I have had a lot of with our networks and our channels and digitals and so
Yes.
forth. So we'll talk about some of that. And then lastly, that's on here, and I saw someone try to come on, but then he disappeared. But I have Tina Ziegler. Tina and I met on
In the dark.
there's
Okay.
Tina. Say hello,
There
There
you
she
Tina.
go.
is.
Hi.
Tina's so
Yeah.
precious. She's from Germany but lives here in Texas, and she found
Yeehaw.
Texas and
Right.
said, "There's no way I'm ever leaving."
Oh
Exactly.
my.
My favorite country in the world is Texas,
That's
not
right.
Are you
Germany,
down
for
south?
sure.
You down south, Tina?
Yeah. Actually, we met. Yeah, I'm in McAllen. So like actually I'm going back and forth between McAllen, Dallas, Lubbock,
Yes.
Austin, San Antonio. So like
Great.
I kind of live in my
Awesome.
car.
Yeah, live in your car. If you're driving, do not look at us, Tina.
No,
You
I
can
mean
put
I'm
your
almost
picture
home.
back up. I want you to
Yeah,
be
yeah, but I just
safe.
wanted to say hello, right? Yeah,
Oh,
to
Thank
switch
you,
off
thank
the
you
Tina.
light.
for coming on.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so Tina's a blessing. Tina and I tell you, this is, I think, extremely relevant to a topic that I'm going to talk about today that every one of you can benefit from. And Tina and I met on LinkedIn, and she has an affiliate group that sells insurance and other services, utilities and such. And I don't quite remember what this solicitation pitch was on LinkedIn, but we ended up. I said, "Look, why don't we meet in my office here in the church?" And so she came into the church, and I always love that surprise
Yes.
of inviting people for a business meeting, and they come into the church, and my office. You all have seen my office, and it's an office. But when you
Yeah.
see it's a church, you begin to scratch your head. Is this a church? And that was the question that she said, and at the time. I don't think you were a Christian yet.
No, it was just it was kind of in the process. I was in the
Right.
process.
The
So
Lord
because of
was,
also like yeah, it was preparing. I was getting prepared like through COVID. It was after COVID. So like during COVID, it was just like I actually Googled because my mentors they were Christian and they used a lot of the like seek and you shall find like things like that that made so much sense. Like wow, that's great. And so I Googled like where is that, you know, and I thought, oh, it's in the Bible. So like all those blueprints for life or like instructions. I Googled everything was in the Bible. I was like, wow, maybe I should read the Bible because I was Catholic in Catholic girls' school, and the priest that he drove us away from church because he was like, "You're sinners. You'll always be sinners. You're not allowed to read the Bible. You're girls. You're stupid." Basically, he didn't say that, but basically, that's what he's implying. And you can only copy what I say, just memorize what I say, and that's the truth. And the only
Right.
way to get to Jesus is through me, basically. That's what he said, like through Catholic, through my representation. I mean, he like presented himself as if he was God. And we all, my friends and I, we all thought it was so pathetic and so disgusting. And then when we found out that in Germany, when you're like, once you have a job and you're Catholic, you have to pay 10%, which is the tithe, which I didn't even know why. I had no clue. Why do you have to pay
Yeah.
10%? Nobody explained that. 10% out of your paycheck goes to the church. So
Whoa.
and just automatically, like if you're like you're
Wow.
registered Catholic or you're registered Protestant, 10% goes directly to the state to the churches. And it's mandated by the government. And I was
Wow.
like, no. So that's when I left the church, and you had to fill out an application to leave. And I never forget that. And the guy was like a handicapped guy, and he was like in a wheelchair. And they made it so hard. I mean, I think they purposely put him in there so you would feel bad for like leaving the church. But I said, no way, I'm not gonna pay 10%. I mean, it's ridiculous. So that and then ever since
Interesting.
I was going through life, and then like I finally, like through my mentors, through COVID, through everything that was happening and being dropped here in McAllen, Texas, and sent to church. So that's
yeah,
where that my new life started, in Center Church. So yesterday was my 1 year baptism anniversary, of my born again
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
anniversary.
Yay.
that was
So
awesome. I have a
Yay.
right.
video I
Celebration.
asked her to share, and it's so beautiful. I was so surprised when she shared it with me, and it just moved me. And she's been very dear. All of you have a special place in my heart. There's no question about it. And I thank God for bringing us all together. You think about it, that we have. If I didn't go to Dallas, I wouldn't have met Pat. If um, if Martin Camacho would not have been this crazy ex-political person producing programming for the network from Florida, I
Wow.
wouldn't have met him. And then Tina, if I hadn't been that come back down to the valley, I wouldn't have never met you.
Yeah.
And the
Right.
Lord knows how to bring people together. And now I can't
Right.
see life without either one of you.
Yeah, and I
Wow.
was in television too, so we have that in common.
Wow.
That's right.
I worked in television for 20 years, like movie sets I was like PR, marketing, talent manager for like one of the top, like Sat.1, which is like the
Wow.
second largest private network in Germany. So
Wow.
I saw behind the scenes of like fiction programs and how sick and how godless and how vicious that can be. So the upfront looks nice, but behind the scenes it doesn't look so nice. so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so and I was like really burned out, and that's the reason. And then my dad passed away, and he had some property here in Texas, and that's why I wanted to protect my sons too. They were born here, but I wanted for them to have the best of both worlds. So
Hmm.
that's why when I was pregnant, I said I'm not gonna have my babies in Germany, no way. So I was here by myself, and like yeah, and I enjoyed it. I totally enjoyed it. So both of them were born in McAllen, but then we went back to Germany, back and forth for like most of their, well, actually every year, twice a year. And then when my dad passed away in 2014, I asked them, do you want to stay in Germany? I said, no, we don't want to stay in Germany. We were in Berlin at the time, and they in East Berlin, the eastern part of Berlin, and people were very like single-minded, and they didn't appreciate different languages. So they didn't have many friends because they spoke English and German, but once the East Germans found out that they spoke English, that I raised them in with English, they were not our friends. They were not friends anymore. And that was like also like an interesting experience to be like you're in your own country, and then you're like it's kind of like racism, reverse
Wow.
racism in your own country. And we didn't really have such a great time in Berlin. Like, I mean, yeah, there were good things, bad things, but we're the boys were glad to move here. So, and they went to IB, MIT, so they have so much more opportunity here than over there. We also, the teachers prejudge them. Even the teachers, like my son, my oldest at 24, he's super smart, and he went to MIT, finished in only 4 years, and he actually told, when people asked him what's the difference between the German and the US system, of course he just knew the German public school and the US IB school. He said, in Germany they were my enemies, the teachers were my enemies, and here they were my friends. They helped
Wow.
me do the things that I wanted to do, and they saw his talent. Over there they capped him because that's all, everything is about the lowest common denominator, and it's
Yeah.
not supporting excellence. That's what I saw. Maybe it's different in other parts of Germany, but in Berlin, which is kind of the eastern side influenced by socialism, that's what it was.
Mm,
So
wow.
I'm glad to be here. I'm all for freedom, and that's what I tell everybody when I have conversations with my family, because they're also against that. Like, oh, the Trump and this and that, and they don't understand. They say, "Oh, Germany is so great." And it's like, well, good thing that you're there. You know, you don't. I mean, you don't. I
Yeah, you're
wish you
like,
would
stay
be more
there and leave me
open-minded.
here.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I wish you would guys would be more open-minded and come here
Yeah.
and experience what this is. But if you're not, okay. We come to Germany twice. We visit the family once or
Yeah.
twice a year. So, okay,
Wow.
that's the rest of my story.
That's good, Tina. Well, I wanted to share something with you all because, and I wanted to, one of the topics to talk about in Thought Leaders is I want to share with you some tools that you can use. All of you have a business, and Martin has his production company, creates content, and he knows quite a bit because I was able to mentor Martin. I'm in firsthand there in Dallas for a number of years, but even while he was in Florida, Martin started producing with a camera and a microphone that was duct taped to the top of a camera and producing programs. And
Yeah.
so, very humble beginnings, but now he has a company called Camacho Productions, and he and his wife do quite a bit on that, and they're doing so well. They drive me nuts with all the cruises that they take that I see. I don't know. I don't know if it's a cruise club or he's a stowaway.
Looks inviting.
It is
We cruise a lot.
a cruise a lot, and
You're on cruise control.
it's
Okay.
very good. And
Exactly.
then yeah, and then Pat, you have a big undertaking, and Martina and I have talked quite a bit about. I don't want to talk about the behind the scenes conversations that we've had, but with the television station in the Colleen area and what you're doing there, and then now with this global opportunity that you have of building that television network, and
Yes.
I have, of course, shared with Martine some needs that you all have, but I want to share with you a tool, and it's not something that you buy,
Okay.
it's something that's free. But I see
Wow.
something, even Tina, there's some things that you can use. All of you can utilize this. Martine knows it very well, and I asked Martine is really to be on this to watch what I'm doing because he takes what I do and takes it to the next level and
Wow.
helps me build it to the next level. And we all need those armor bearers that are with us, that Aaron and that allow us to be so efficient at the call of
Yes.
God and what we have in our life. And so, but I wanted to share this with you. I'm going to do a little screenshot, and you all may or may not have heard about this one company, but the company's called Wix. But I don't want to. I'm not promoting Wix or promoting the product. I want to promote a system, and the system is called Lead Generation. And I know, Tina, your company, you have a lot of these tools available to you. And Pat, you're building something that you and I talked about funneling
Right.
the connection with you, and something that you're going to need with what you're doing with your broadcast enterprise. And Martine, even you, there are things, and I know you don't go out looking for these items, but there, you know about these that I talk about, but there's still things you can do and you can utilize with it. But what I wanted to talk to you all about is the lead generation and what to do with your contacts. The number one value that you all have the ability to do is to capture the name, email address, and phone number of anybody. And there's something coming in the future with all the AI that's taking place that you need to have names and email addresses and phone numbers of everybody you come in contact with. And I'm going to tell you a little story on why this means so much to me. And all of you get my emails. I know you do. And I see the emails go out and I see the percentage of how many people open and don't open it. And if you don't open it, that's when after a while, the computers now are sending it to junk. So if you don't get an email, chances are it's because it went to junk mail. Sometimes you see it on your line, but you don't click it. And if you don't click it, then your phone or your computer thinks that it's junk mail. You don't want to know it, and eventually starts filtering it out because we want the systems to do that. So I want to encourage you, if you see an email of mine, if you want to keep receiving them, make sure that you click on it. And if you haven't seen an email in a while, go to your junk file or your spam file because it might be thrown in there just by the computer. But that's something very important for you to know because that might be why you're missing out on a lot of business because a lot of your connections that you have there, you're emailing, the information might be in their junk file.
Right.
And there's nothing you can physically do other than to call them and say, are you getting my emails? And if they don't respond back to you and you want to be able to keep all this information. But let me give you a little story that I think will help quite a bit. I was I was about 12, 13 years old, and my dad used to go preach in his little Monte Carlo, and he had a little Samsonite briefcase. And he would leave the house and be gone for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And this is when he went into the ministry full time. And that was the only money that was coming into the house was whatever he made as a preacher, as an evangelist. And he had a little Monte Carlo, and he would go up and down Highway 59, which is, all the way to Houston and all the way to, I think, Louisiana. And he'd go to all these little tiny churches and preach there. And I would take audio tapes, and I would make copies of these audio tapes and fill up his Samsonite briefcase. But it was just a briefcase, so it didn't fit not even 100 tapes, maybe 35, 45 tapes. And he would sell them for $3. So he would have an offering and the sale of the tapes. And sometimes the little churches he would go to, they would feed him a case of food, or they'd bring him bread and sandwich meat. And that's what he got as an offering. So if he didn't sell a tape or two, he wouldn't have any gas money. So it was hard times. And I remember him coming home, and he would be gone, and then he'd come back and there'd be no more tapes. And I asked him, I said, how fast are you selling these tapes? And he says, Clark, I sell them the first or the second church. Then I'm sold out. I don't have any more. And I survive on just what's left over on the tapes. But meanwhile, he's preaching at 20, 30 churches. But the first two churches, he would sell out. So I took a legal pad and I wrote on the legal pad name, address, and phone number on the legal pad on the very top. And I said, when you go to the churches, I want you to put this legal pad out there and tell everybody to write their name, their address, and their phone number on the legal pad. And so he came back, and not only did he fill up every page on a brand new legal pad, he came back with other papers full of names, addresses, and phone numbers. And so he brought them over, and he goes, I don't know what you're going to do with these. He didn't think what I was going to do, but I took those names and I put them in a Rolodex. You remember the old Rolodex? Every one of us are old enough to know the Rolodex where you put a little card on and you spin it, and you'd have everybody's name, address, and phone number on it. And I typed them all out, and I would transpose everything on there. And then I went ahead and I wrote a letter of where my dad was going to be preaching. And I mailed it out to everybody because he would just preach up and down Highway 59 or up and down Interstate 35, which back then was Highway 77. So everybody that he preached to, he'd go as far as he could, and then he'd come back and preach again, and he'd come back with stacks of addresses. And I started sending out these letters. Well, people started writing back saying that they wanted more teaching tapes. And my dad's messages were all how to walk in faith, how to put on the armor of God, how to pray in the spirit, how to lay hands on the sick, how to. So everything he did was how to, and then fill in the blank. Whatever it is you wanted to learn was how to do this and how to do that in the word. And so these people were ordering and they were sending checks or cash in the mail. And I looked at it and I would just start, I had the little copy machine, which was, you had one master and three slaves is what they called it, where you make three copies. I had a typewriter and I would make little labels and I would make these things out and mail them out. And then people would order more. And then my dad would come back with more addresses. And I remember going from a little Rolodex that had little names to where I ended up. I'll never forget, I had to buy the big Rolodex that had double rows, thousands of names. And back then, there's no computers, and we didn't have the money for the computers.
Yeah.
So my mom would be typing out all the email, all the addresses, and we would do it all by hand. And that's how we started there in the ministry. And one day, my dad comes home early. And when he came home early, we had this big dining room table that had 8 chairs, and there were stacks and stacks of audio tapes and labels and letters and stacks of checks and cash. And mom and I were doing all these things, and we were getting like 1,500 orders at a time that we're processing. And my dad comes home early and he sees this mess. And he sees me filling all these tapes. My mom had taken a break and I'm filling all these tapes. And he looks at me, he goes, "What are you doing?" And he looks in the corner and he sees cases of blank cassette tapes. And the cases would come in 500 tapes at a time. Mind you, we're shipping out 1,500 to 2,000 tapes at a time. And each one of them were $3 a tape.
Wow.
And so he looks at me, yells at me, and says, "What are you doing? Where did you get all these tapes? How are we paying for this thing?" And he really was verbally mad at me. Well, I got scared like I'm doing something wrong. And my mother heard the commotion, comes running in, and here's my dad yelling at me saying, "What did I do? I bought all these tapes and all these labels, and we don't have the money for this, and we're barely making any money." And my mom says, "No, Carlos, stop," and tells me, "Clark, go into the room." And I go into my bedroom. It's a little tiny house, 500 square foot home. So I go in my bedroom and I can hear them going back and forth. And their volumes were high. And mom is saying, "No, you don't understand. Look at all this money. Look at all these orders. All Clark is doing is filling the orders. These are all the people that want to buy this." And I'm like, "Oh man, I'm in big trouble," because I didn't really know what I was doing. I knew that I was being led by God. Now I know. I didn't know then. And then he calls me, "Clarky, come here." And I thought, man, I'm really in trouble. I'm going to get a whipping. And when I go in there, now his complaint was, "What's taking you so long for filling these orders? These guys are waiting a week and these guys waited 2 weeks." And I said, "I'm doing the best that I can." And what started was our ministry, on how the ministry was funded. And we started a club, and the club was a tape club. It was called the $3 tape club because he only charged $3 for the little audio tape. And that little database grew and grew and grew. And through that little database, and back then we didn't even call it database, it was just monthly newsletters and monthly mailings. And we would do, $15,000, $20,000 every single month in sales. And of course, we used that money to buy more tapes, and it just grew, and his ministry grew to one day he was in the Hemisphere Arena, which was where the San Antonio Spurs played in San Antonio, and you got 15,000 people and all these people that were there. And we sold hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of tapes and such. And the ministry grew on the back of the database that we started as we were a child. And so the item that I wanted to let you all know is every one of us connect with people.
Correct.
And Tina might come back on here in a bit, but It looks like we lost her, but I wanted to share this with you on it doesn't take a lot of money to do any of these things. And let's see here. I'm going to share a screen. Martine, can we see that screen okay with the YouTube?
It's right now it's black. Now I see it.
We can see it? Okay. I'm going to show you something. This website right here called Wix provides a free service. I'm going to create a brand new account here. I'm going to hit get started, but I'm going to show you something very, very simple. I'm going to do, let's see if I can do it like this. You open up a free account and you put your email address. Then I'm going to choose a password, something I can remember. And I'm going to do it again, choose a password. And I'm going to show you this. I'm going to sign up. I hit sign up and I'm creating a brand new account that I'm going to eventually close down. But I'm just happy because I want to show you this. Everybody can see this. Let me make sure Tina is here. Hang on for a second. So I think she's coming in. Admit her back in. There she goes. Tina, you back with us?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
The laptop died, so now.
Oh, no problem.
All right.
Okay, so what I did, Tina, is that I shared, you heard part of the story
Right.
about that. I think you heard the whole story before I
Yes.
started on.
Yeah, and then it
And
fell
I'm
off.
going to show you all how you can build a database for free
Wow.
and to do everything for free to start. And the key thing about a database is everything I do, everything I work on, it's all on a database. And since I was a child, names, addresses, phone numbers mean everything to me. And so I went to Wix.com and I opened up a free account, brand new, completely free account. And let's see, you already have an account. Google found out I have an account under this name, so let me continue it. I don't want them. I don't even know what's on here. I must have opened my first account with that email address. I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing there. But this is what it looks like. The very beginning, Wix.com. And on this, you can now create a site. If you can see the screen, everybody see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you see right here where it says create new site?
Uh-huh.
Just click on there. You're not paying for anything. Notice it didn't ask me for my credit card number or anything like that. It's
Wow.
completely free. And it says I can start chatting with someone, but I don't want to because the moment you start, chat. Oh, this is telling me to set up a chat.
Yeah.
Our chat, tell us about the site you're creating and get a personalized dashboard with everything you want to see. So let's go ahead and do that because this company was the first company that I saw that created websites with AI. So we're going to put over here, let's see, I'm going to put car, I want a car sales website. I'm just making up something. Let's see what it does for me. So all this is AI talking to me and then say, now what's your site's name? So I'm going to call the sites Clark's Car Dealers. Okay. And I'm just answering the questions. And now it says, now what type of content do you plan to showcase? Of course, it's going to be cars. And you can add all your information on it. Okay. So now notice what it says right here. Site profile. What additional goals do you have? Website like improving customer engagement, showcasing. So this is car dealership, online stores. I'm going to put over here, um, need a database. I'm just going to put that on there. And you don't even have to go this far. I can come over here and end chat and continue. But I just wanted to show you the very beginning basis, okay? What's the unique selling point? I'm just going to end the chat now because I don't want to give it any more information, but you can. Now look what's happening. It's preparing the dashboard. It's distorting the apps, kind of apps that I want. And it's right here getting prepared to give me my own back office.
Hmm.
You notice I haven't paid for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's giving me a 50% discount.
Oh,
I'm still not going to pay for anything because it's going to keep giving me a 50% discount till I'm ready to pay for something because it's allowing me to test drive everything.
wow.
Okay. So I want to design a site. You see right here where it says design a site?
Mhm.
Do y'all see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm going to click design a site
Yep.
and it's going to give me two items. I can generate design with AI or customize a template. So it has a template for me. But you want to see AI? Which one do you think you want me to do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
AI?
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
So
Try the AI, huh?
I'm gonna hit AI. Watch what it does here. Now it's gonna come. Let's start on a site for Clark's car dealers. A car dealership, millions of successful businesses. It's entertaining me right now while it's thinking. You see that? I'll start
Mm-hmm.
by generating a site brief and first version of the site. You don't have to get real detailed site brief. It's telling you what's on the profile. Just let it keep doing what it's going to do because you're going to love it anyway. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll let it go. Your site theme will feature modern fonts with a bold urban design. And it's still thinking and thinking. And by the time it's done, it's going to give me, here it goes. It's beginning to draw it right now. It's building a website right now just for me. Look at that.
Whoa.
Look at
Wow.
that.
And you didn't even put any pictures in, it just takes pictures from.
Just finds pictures from wherever. And I can change everything later,
Right.
but I can start right now with this.
Pretty bold looking.
Wow.
See? So I can continue with the design. I can tweak the design. I can regenerate the design. Like if I don't like the design, I can hit it and it'll give me a whole different design. But let's just keep that design just to keep things
So
simple.
you just tell it, no, have like the cars need to be or blue cars or
I
what
could
and then.
say I want trucks. I
Mhm.
want this. I want that. And it'll tell me. So now it's giving me an option. So it's trying to sell me something.
Right.
So if I want to buy a domain, it already found out
Oh, yeah.
clarkscardealers.com is available. If I want to
Yeah.
buy it, I can buy it, but I don't want to buy nothing. Okay. I just want free, free, free. Look at this. And I can come in here
Wow.
and I can
Wow.
say what I want to do and I can
Very
add, I can change.
professional.
Very professional. It can start. Now
Right.
I'm going to close this out. I'm going to close this out. Where would it let me close out? Close out. Let me go back. I'm going to leave because I'm
And
going to
then
come
it
back
has
here.
a back office too, or that comes
Yep.
later.
It made a back office for us already. So I'm going to go to pick a template. Now I'm going to show you what pick a template looks like. It's going to show you
Okay.
templates of what it's going to look like.
Okay.
So let's say I'm just going to pick, I'm going to pick this one. And I'm going to pick, I can either view it or I can edit it. So I'm just going to show you a review and then choose a news design. Nope, I'm going to say create a new site. So now it's creating that site for me, but I would have to change a lot more things on it because I picked a template. So it requires a little bit
Right.
more of my engagement. But that's okay
Right.
because that's not what I wanted to focus on anyway. But I just wanted to show you, don't be intimidated. You can have a brand new free website. And if you stick with the AI, it does it all for you.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Now I got a free website. Now it's adding Wix stores. It's adding things for me that I'm going to need for my website. Okay. Now I can enhance your AI content. I can come in here and start adding things. So I'm just, oh, I didn't put a field over here. Let's see. I want to sell cars and trucks. Okay, generate site. And so it's creating some of the text. And you can get as detailed as you'd like to do. Notice now it says, welcome to Clark's car dealership and so forth. You want to see what my website looks like? Preview.
Wow.
There's
You
my
got a little
website.
logo up there.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
Wow. And you can do that with superfood or health or just like
Exactly.
And that's we could
Anything,
have several websites too, if you
as
like,
many as you want.
or like gold, like I don't know, like whatever is out there.
Yeah, you can have as many as you want. And you notice on the top, it'll say upgrade your website. You can upgrade now and you can pay for it. But we're not going to do that right now. Okay. We're just
Because
going
that,
to,
right, and then you would need a domain, right? If I mean, how does that?
it'll give you a free domain when you buy it. They give you the free
Oh,
domain,
Right.
but you
Right.
buy the service, they're going to give you a 50% discount on it.
Right.
But, there's things that you could do, but I always say don't pay for anything yet, especially if you're going to do it yourself. Okay. Now, let me show you what the back office looks like. Okay. So right here's the back office. I'm going to refresh it because my website's going to show up on there. Now it's going to show me my sites. This is my first site that I created. And this was the AI. And this is the one that I just created right now.
so they
And
show
so
up in the back office.
it shows up. And then this is where, if you want to create more, you can keep creating new sites and it all populate all right here. Okay. So let's say I want to select and I want to edit this one. So I'm going to select the site that I want. This is my AI site, the first one I did. Here's my back office. And this back office will walk you through different things to do so that way your business would grow. See right here, let's set up. It says 1 of 8 completed. It gives you a task and it will walk you through step by step everything to do on your own. You don't have to be a web developer. You don't have to go out and you don't have to pay for anything. It's always going to try to sell you something, but just starting for free, right? But look
Right.
what I can do. I can I can come to my home page. This right here is everything that's on my home page. I can set up if I want to get paid, like I want to set up payment links. I want to sell something and connect my payment method. It'll walk you through everything on your own. If I want a calendar, I can set up a calendar of events, of things that I want to do, right? So I can come over here in sales. I have a complete sales store. If I want to sell things, if I want to sell anything, you want to sell airtime, you could set up a sales order item and you have a whole store. And then catalog, if you want to add, look at all the products I have on here. This is through AI. I can come in, I can add different products on there, show you what some of the products will look like in your back office. I can add now
Wow.
pictures, and it'll all populate automatically, instantaneously on my website.
And can I also integrate links of, like, let's say I have a superfood company that I work with, and can I
Yep.
integrate their link?
Yep. You can integrate your link on the website. There's
Yep.
and it shows you different links that you can put up. And then it has different apps let's say you want to do something extra. It gives you time that you can try out different apps. Like if you want a
Hmm.
membership, if you want checkout order, Wix Forms, Pro Gallery, there's so many different things, more apps than you know what to do with. This is an app store. So AI picked out so many apps that I'd probably use, but these are all the different types of apps that you can put on your website to do different things. Like if you want to do Wix events, which is what I did, what you all registered through was through one of the Wix events registration. And it does it all on there. And then now come over here. Now you have site mobile. You can do SEO, but you don't have to worry about any of that. Now marketing, I wanted to show you. This is the key thing I wanted to show you. So marketing, you can do Google ads, Facebook ads. This will actually be advertising. It'll help create them, or emailing. This right here is the power. Now I can create an email. And whenever somebody goes to my website, so you come over here to the website, see on the bottom here, I'm going to fill it up with my own information. And subject, hello, testing everything. And I send this in, I press submit. What happens now when I come over here to my email side, I now have captured a lead. It's my first level of lead generation. I go to my contacts, When I click on my contacts, there I am. This is my registration, but this is the one I
Yep.
just hooked up. Do you see
Wow.
that?
Oh,
And then
Now,
when you want to email something, you already have the email, or when you want to
Mhm.
call them, because if you put in your phone number, you can call them.
I can hit view. And when I hit view, I have all their email address. I can add a phone number to it. And there's other forms you can add to your website that add, you can phone number, email address, physical address. You can do all that. You can even keep track. How many times did I write you? What kind of notes do you have on there? You come here, invoices. If I'm a customer and I'm buying things, I need to book a meeting or place an order. I can keep track of all of it behind the scenes. Okay, so those are my contacts. But let's say now I want to send an email because remember everything I'm talking about. I come right here, go to email marketing, and now I have templates and I can create an email. I can come here and create it using the builder, or I can use AI to build an email. And it'll create the email that would work best for me. Now there's my email, and all I have to do is click on it and I can type
wow.
whatever I want to do. I can come here, I can click here and I can change the picture. Let me get that. I can come here, I can move the picture around. I can come here and change names, do all my typing, whatever I want to do. I have a hyperlink. You were talking about links. You can
Hmm.
put right here, Tina, for your business. You click on here and you can add a link for you to put your link of what you want to sell. So the
Well,
different products that you sell, you can add pictures to this. You can edit it with AI or you can edit it on your own. You can change all these buttons. You can change links on them. You can move them around. There's tutorials. They have videos that will teach you what to do with them. And then when you're done, you hit next. Okay. I'm just going to close that. It says who to send it to. Well, I have two people on my contact list, right? And then I set it up to where I can send it out to two people. I hit next and it's going to send the email out to those two people. You have 200 emails that you can send out for free. It's a lot of emails, right?
hmm.
So all of you and
Mm.
everybody can
Yeah,
create
that's a lot. Monthly. Yeah.
a whole bunch. And let me so now remember that's free. So I'm going back over here and come back to my website. If I publish, watch this, I could publish this website. It's going to give me a domain name, but of course, it's not going to be one of those pretty domain names. See, that's my domain name, right? So if I want to view the website, what it's going to look like, it's right here. And because I hit live, because I hit published, it is now live. I can edit it for mobile. So if I wanted, this is what it's look like on your phone. Isn't that nice?
Wow.
So
That's very nice.
you can start off that easy.
Yeah.
Let me go back here. I'm going to do something here. I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna give you all something that you can click on. Let's go here. I don't want to upgrade that. Let's go skip this.
And then you can also put it on social media, so to share it on social
Yep.
media.
But I'm gonna do something here. Let me go back to the computer size. And there it is. I'm gonna hit publish. And there's the website. I'm gonna copy this. And I'm gonna come over here on the message on Zoom. I'm gonna put paste. If y'all are on a computer, if you click that link right there, wherever you are right now, you can see the website on your computer. I'm live right now.
Correct.
So it's in the chat.
It's right in the chat. Yeah. Let me stop sharing for a minute. Do you see the chat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see the link?
Right
You
there.
click the link. Do you see the website?
Yep, it's right there.
Yeah.
You are live. Your website's live everywhere around the world. Now, obviously, clark62.wixsite.com/da da da da. That's a lot. for somebody to, you don't want to market that, right? And that's where you begin to start deciding, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to, what do I want to do? I want to pay for the service. That's when you get a chance to start deciding what is it that you care to do. And of course, paying for the service, I think the starting price, even with the 50% discount, could be $100 and something a year. And then you get a free domain name. It's worth every bit of it because you have your own website created the way you want it. And what I did with this website, just to share with you all, what I did with this website, Martin will testify to this. I started selling web services 10, 15 years ago. And I was doing it as a business, doing websites, maybe almost 20 years ago now. And I was using Wix. I was using other companies to do the same thing. And to this day, I still sell websites.
So
And
do
I
I.
make money selling websites. And I use this service where I build websites for people. And I start off at $500 to set up a website. Charge you $50 or $100 a month. I'll manage it for you. I'll update it, all that stuff. And all the headache comes on us and we manage all the website for you. That's what I would do. So anybody, any of you can, if you wanted to sell websites, you know how much websites cost, right? I don't know if you've ever looked at how much websites cost.
Sometimes they charge
They get
like
expensive.
5,000. I mean, they charge a lot because
Yeah,
then
they get expensive. I use GoDaddy and they're very expensive.
Very
yeah.
expensive. That's
And they
exactly
tell you
right.
it's cheap and this and that, but then you need extra service and you need and then that's the problem.
Yeah. So when you Google, I'm going to come over here to one of my other websites here, and I got to be careful when I hit something because it stays on my SEO. Martin knows what I'm talking about. How much for a custom website? So I'm just going to do it. Said so from $2,000 to $15,000
Whoa.
website. So when I first started, and I would charge $5,000 for a website. Remember that, Martin?
I remember those
In the good
2,500.
old days.
And we charge $5,000 a website. We charge $500 a month, $1,000 a month. But all our websites are beautiful websites because even though this starts off free, obviously you start paying for services. And when when I opened up my business, I had to, like anything else, this is how much I'm going to pay and this is how much I'm going to charge you. And what I'm going to
Sure.
charge you is always going to be comparable to what the market charges. And but it's going to be cheaper, a little cheaper, but better in services. And there's plenty of companies that are like this that'll offer you service. And it's not easy to navigate, but it is easy if you know how to use a computer. But the key thing I wanted to share with you all on this Thought Leaders is your database is not hard to develop
Right.
because you can delete all the stuff on a website and just keep that one lead generation, that one page, and you can do a lot. I'm gonna do something else here.
If I can just add something to
Yes, please.
this particular issue. I started doing. I started working with Christian television back in 96, 97.
Mhm.
And I was working with a local CTA, Christian Television Network affiliated in West Palm Beach. The unique situation we have in South Florida is because we have a large Latino, Brazilian, Creole, Haitian community. It's very multifaceted. The station owner said, hey, man, why don't we dedicate 2 hours in Spanish? We're going to dedicate 2 hours in Spanish Saturday mornings when we knew nobody was watching. Nobody gets up at 10 o'clock in the morning and watches us till 12 noon. So I said to them, give me that dead hour. Give me those dead hours and let's work on that. But one of the things that we did is we really didn't know. We really were like, okay, I edited the show and I was one of the first programs and it used to be called Salmo 150, which is Psalm 150. And Psalm 150 is all about praise, make noises, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. So then I went to, it's called Expolit. It's the Exposition of Literature in Miami. And one of the things I noticed there is the largest Christian gathering, Spanish Christian gathering in the world. Today, there are about 75, 80,000 of us that we go there once a year. And we go there for a week. But when we started in 1999, there was like 2,000 of us one day. So I showed up there and I'm like, I don't know anybody. And I met this guy. This guy, man, he looked like, I mean, first of all, he looked like he just got out of a rehab center. His hair was all the way up, got a goatee, and he was always like, and nobody paid attention to him. I went to him and I introduced myself and I said, hey, my name is Martin Camacho. And he goes, what do you do? I said, I got this little TV show. I'm trying to put some videos together. He goes, you do a video? You got a TV station? I go, yeah, I got a little TV station. I said, well, let me tell you something. I work for a recording company. And I was like, okay, what's the name of the recording company? And he goes, it's Provident. Never heard of him. Nobody's ever heard of him. His name is Robert Beeson. And he's the founder, one of the founders of Provident. Now it's one of the largest Christians. I mean, I think Clark and I met him when we went to a couple of conventions. But he said to me, listen, this is how I can help you. And this is how you can help me. And I said, well, tell me how I can help you. And he goes, I believe in the power of MTV and what MTV did to kids, what it does. I want to do the same thing, but I want to do it for Christians. So I said, you have a half an hour show. And he said to me, can you convince your station manager to give you 1 hour show, but I want it in English. I'll give you music in Spanish, but I want it in English. And I want you to play it between 1 and 3 in the morning. And I'm like, who is going to watch this? In my mind. And he goes, and then this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you, and back in them days, we have data tapes. I don't even have a sample, but that's how I used to get the videos. And then I would place them and put the show together. And he said to me, I want you to put your email. And I'm like, I don't want to put my personal email. So we created, to this day, 30 years later, Programa Salmo 150 at Hotmail. I don't know if you remember Hotmail.
Yeah, Hotmail,
it's old. I mean, I'm talking about 40 years old.
Yeah.
And the guy said, just get this, and I'm going to send you 2 weeks. He's one of the people that also got me 3 weeks. And he said, and just go build a database. And when your TV show goes on, I want you at the end, you record a spot with your voice, or if you want me to do it, I'll do it, and say that if you want to get a free, back then, CDs were coming up. We'll send you a free CD. And just do that. And I created the show. I went on at 1 o'clock in the morning, just like he said. And within 6 months, we were getting 300 to 400 emails a week. So I created a database. I would send him the database, and he would send them the CDs. But guess what? And I'm saying, so I went to Robert. I said, Robert, how you doing? How you making any money? I said, very simple. I give them a free CD and a catalog of everything else that I had. So I fast forward 40 years from now, and Clark knows this. I got about 40,000 people database.
A big database.
There are people that and by the way, I continue to have this show. The show has changed name. It went from Nothing But Videos. Now it's called My Jams. So obviously, got to get a little younger.
Yeah.
And then I got an email last week from a gentleman. He says, you may not remember who I am. I'm in Germany right now. My name is Bob. I think his last name was Abraham, because I remember that last name. And he goes, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, I watched your program. And I see that it's still being aired in TV stations. So do me a favor. Can you put my son on the mailing list? And the power of that mailing list is so critical because it allows the opportunity for you, whether you do television, whatever it is that you do, you want to collect an email.
Yeah.
Man, look, Robert, and if you ever know Provident Music, if you've never heard of them, Google them. They're the largest Christian recording company in the world. They bought up a bunch of them. And you
Wow.
know what their strength is? It's database.
Mm-hmm.
They send, I'm not giving you a company secret because he tells me all the time. He sends close to 500,000 to 600,000 emails every month.
Wow.
And that's how they're able to connect with people. CTN, the station that I used to work with, I told them the same thing. I said, man, we need to start collecting emails. CTN has stayed in business for the last 30, 40 years, and it has grown because of the database. They're able to send a newsletter every week. They do mailing, but they email it out. Everything's on email. We have over 1.2 million people on CTN over the last 34 years on a database. So you do not know, one, the impact that's going to have in the Christendom. I have people who said to me, man, I saw your TV show, and we go back, testimonies, there's so many things. But more importantly, is the capability that you have to be able to say, sell a product or send a testimony or even get donations. If you send out 10 emails asking for money, your population that's going to return is 10, because that's how many emails you send. So as your emails grow and grow and grow, then the population that gets to see your message, your product, or whatever it is that you want, it grows. And then when they share it with others, then they come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, and Clark and I were talking about this morning, he's like, I need to update the TV shows. Well, now I contacted Robert, who's still an owner, but now he's got like 6 or 7 different companies. And I said to him, hey, man, can I still give away CDs? He goes, Martin, we don't do CDs anymore. We do soundtracks that you can download. And guess what?
I don't even have a CD player on my computer.
Don't even have a CD player. They send
I got
you,
an 8-track.
No, they send you an email and you download the song on your phone and it goes right into your phone. And the guy goes, you can send out, that can give it to you away. And now he'll write for me, hi, this is so-and-so. This is, such and such artist. Thank you for watching, or thank you for listening. Here's my new CD. Here's my new track. And all that happened because 40 years ago, I met one guy.
Yeah.
And he showed me the power of. So when I met Clark, I remember Clark, when I first met him, we had La Familia. Oh, Lord Almighty, he used to send so many letters.
So many letters out.
Letters.
My database for La Familia was in the millions.
Wow.
But that's how you're able to, believe it or not, that's how you're able to keep your business and your ministry afloat. Because somebody always said to me, if the 3 falls in the forest doesn't make any sounds. It doesn't matter if you put a nuclear bomb. If nobody hears it, it doesn't make any sound.
What difference does it make? And well, let me show you. That's so true and it's so good. So I'll show you this right here. This website. Tell me if you see this. Okay, this is Center Church website. So this is a Wix site. So you all have seen my church website.
Yeah, Center Church. Yeah.
So of course I have premium here, and I built it all out. The whole website's built on Wix back office.
Okay.
And so this is the complete. Now I pay for services and so forth, and I spend probably every month I think I'm spending a couple of $100 because of all the different services that I have. But just to show you, I built the database. Let's see here, where are contact list contacts. So my database started off obviously with just whoever was coming to the church. But right now my database is, what's my total number? I'm at 1,844 people that I send out emails to. And for the cost of about $25 a month, I can send 20 emails out to every one of them.
Wow.
Every single month, 20 emails.
That's good. It's
not bad. And I have their email address, their phone number. You can see the date. Look right here, November 2nd. This is someone that signed up today. Is today the 2nd? The 3rd? This was yesterday. Look, November the 1st, the 28th, the 27th, the 26th. You can see people that all those have been signing up. See, they sign up on the website. So whenever they see the website, they on the website, what I have there, tell me if you can see the website here. So let's see here. Oop, I'm gonna type it right. You see the page,
Mm-hmm.
the website? Notice what I
Yeah.
have here on the website is I have this, of course, is our live broadcast, but right under it, I have receive email and updates. So people fill that out and I capture their information and they subscribe and they receive. Now I have this, and then when you come down, I have another to subscribe for emails. I have another side. If somebody says, somebody might come say, I don't want to get, I've learned that sometimes having two different forms, it goes to the same place. Two different forms on one page, my lead capturing actually increased by double. But all of this is built on Wix, and I'm able to do everything from, my events. I can put my calendar of items, contact information of here's another lead capture, and I could put different media on there, whatever I want to do. I got my live media. I got my, like what came out last, my media player. All this are tools and widgets that are provided by Wix. And even the one that you saw on my website, clarkortiz.com, all this was done on Wix. And I always put, you notice now, I always put lead capture, registration, and then all my information, RSVP, there's my second. And you come down here, and I have another one. If somebody wants to schedule a one-on-one appointment with me, they can schedule a one-on-one appointment with me, all on the website. On the websites, those are the most powerful items websites need to have, is you have to have lead capture. And so the key thing I wanted to share with you all is the importance of making sure that you start capturing your contact list. And that contact list is like a gold mine, and you have to mine it. There's little gems that are inside there, but you got to dig them out. And not everybody will respond. Not everybody. I'll show you my response rate just so that way you can see what's normal and what's not. If I come back here, see, if I go to my emails, let's see here.
Can you connect it with your contact list on your iPhone?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Oh,
You can
yeah.
do it from your iPhone. You can update it from your iPhone.
Yeah, a lot of this I do from my iPhone, and I'm able to connect it there. So this was yesterday. This was sent yesterday. I can come in, I can view my analytics. So what went out was 1,178 were delivered. 220 of the emails were opened. So, it'll go out to people, but not everybody's going to look at it. So I sent 1,205 contacts went out. I had 220 and I had 3 clicks. That means when they went on there, I had 3 different clicks. I had 27 bounce. So this tells me that there's some emails that are not working well. Like they might have put in a wrong character, so it bounced back. And I got no spam complaints. So it gives me all my traffic. 67% were on desktop, 33% were on mobile. And then over here, it tells me who saw, okay, they looked at my YouTube video. Who wanted to see what? I can see what they clicked on. And all these analytics are so important to you.
Yes.
And because it tells me what I'm doing good or what I'm doing bad, what can I improve on, This 18% rate of open is huge. Watch this.
Pretty high.
What is the average email open rate? Watch this. 23% is the average approximate is 23%. So when I come over here, I'm at 19%. I'm pretty good. But I have to be better. When I first started, I was at 2%. So I had to learn different graphics that I use, different lettering that I use. I had to learn how to make it pop so people will open up my emails.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge because people get so many emails, so you have to like stand out and do something different.
Yeah, information overload.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but also there's one thing that I want you have in your mind, and this is where Clark and I are pretty big on. If you can go back to the numbers, Clark, go back to the number. Okay.
This one right here.
If you look at 1178, those are not people that Clark had it himself. Those are people that went to his website and subscribed. So I want you to think from the beginning of having this tool is that 100% of the people that click and subscribe, guess what? It's 100% guarantee rate. Somebody that was interested.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they were interested then when they clicked. It doesn't mean they're going to continue, but at least you capture the name.
Right.
So that is the start of anything. Even if the response rate is only 80%, you know that what 1178 means to me? It means that those are people that at a minimum know that they're getting the stuff because they subscribe to it. So they might not see it now, they'll see it later, but you have to have a population to start with, and you're not starting from on the call on the street. These are people that contacted your website. So that's what we tell people. It's very important to have them to create this in your database, because that's the first people that express any interest, any meaningful interest. Because if I go into your business or if I go to Publix and I walk around, okay, gee, this is nice. But the moment that you go to the website, if I'm watching your channel, the moment that I click on the channel website, I go, well, you know, I want more information about this channel. The moment that you got them to do that, then you already captured their interest. And that, my friends, is 100% of the battle. Because that person that contacted you wanted more, wanted something. And if you can continue to engage them, then it'll pay off. Not necessarily at the beginning, although it may, but if somebody express interest, they're going to continue to express interest. Mm-hmm. Just like when you're in your phone and you're on Facebook and all of a sudden you start clicking on something, and before you know it, you got advertisements or something. Or for example, I love the Jets. Yes, we will forever painful.
We won't throw stones at you now.
Yes, but you know what? My feed every day gives me 20, 30 different things about the Jets because that's what I want. Likewise, if somebody contacts you on your website and connect or ask for hey, can I have your email? You need to be able to say, here's my email, and treat them with the most kind of respect that you can, because they want to know more about you and they want to know more about what you do. They want to know what you're doing. And one of the things that why Clark is so successful is because I always tell, in Spanish, we say metiche, which means a busybody. Always wanted to know what everybody wants to know what Clark is doing. So guess what? They go to his YouTube, they go because they want to know what he's got to say. But guess what? That's how you get the contact. What does he have to say? That's why meetings like this are important, because those are the little nuggets we want you to have. And sometimes it's a minor adjustment for a great return.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if we can continue to do this, you're gonna be like, I didn't know that. And I'm glad that this is being recorded and you can re-see it again. But no, the number one thing in your business, in your ministry, whatever it is that you do, is contact. Because if you don't have contact, you're just doing things on your own.
Right.
You know, Pat, what you're going to do with the radio, with the television network, and one of the things we're going to talk about on another conversation is, you know, I looked over the website. You got a website that has all the information on there, but to be able to work the database is so important. Every one of you receive my emails more than you even want to see it. You still see it. I'm just going to keep getting out there and connecting with you until you say unsubscribe. And if I can get you to unsubscribe, here's the way I look at things. Some people say, well, I don't want to put a lot of emails out there because I'm going to bother them. When someone hits unsubscribe, I feel like I've done my job.
Yep.
And because I got their attention.
Yeah.
They've read everything that I've had. They finally got to the point I don't need anymore.
Right.
And then they unsubscribe. But then what happens when they hit unsubscribe, a lot of times they go back and they say, hey, whatever happened to Clark? I don't see him anymore. They unsubscribe. They end up resubscribing. the resubscribe rate is incredible.
Yeah.
And then they stay even longer. And so you have to, when you build your database, as much information as you can get out there. I mean, you don't want to email 5, 10 times a day. But you think about this, the very first decent package Wix offers, it's about $26 or $28 a month. And you can send 20 emails a month out. And the beauty of it is, a beauty of the internet. Let me show you something else here. I'm going to do another screen share. Watch what happens when I type here, when is the best time to send an email
Okay.
on a campaign? Look what it tells you. Mid
Mm.
mornings on weekdays, especially
Yep.
Tuesday through Thursday between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m.
Correct.
You'll
Yep.
always find my emails at that time.
Isn't that crazy?
And that's 20 per person, like the basic
No, you
package.
get 20 emails.
20 emails for everybody. You send out 20,
Wow,
the
midweek.
whole database.
So don't think that you're sending one email to one person. It's the same
No.
newsletter that
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
create,
it's the same
and you send them
window.
to the entire group.
Okay.
You send it out to the whole group. And the beauty of that is,
Yeah.
like if you go to some of these big companies, Constant Contact, for instance, if you go to a big company, a lot of them start off with free plans also. But when you come over here, they make it sound like, let's see where the pricing. So they make it sound like it's cheap and all that. See that? You got 35 a month or 80 a month premium emails and specials. So if I get started here, I'm just going to hit it, see if it gives me oh no, I don't want to do that. I wanted to see, sometimes they don't even want to show you the whole pricing. You find out that you're limited to how many emails you can actually send out.
Sometimes they'll say how many words you can put in an email.
That's exactly right.
Put in an email.
Let's see. I think Chipmunky, is that one?
Yeah, chip.
Yeah. Chipmunk.
Monkey. There we go.
Chimp. Something.
Chipmunky.
Chip mail. Chip mail.
There you are.
Chimp.
Right
Yeah.
here. So let me go to pricing. That was one I was looking at. Okay, this is the one. So here it says 6,000 emails, but what that is the size of your database.
Mhm.
Okay. Sending out 500 emails a month would be free for only 14 days. After that, it's $20 a month.
No. It's only 500 contacts.
500 contact. Oh, that's right. 500 contacts, 20 a month. So let's say my contacts are 5,000 contacts. I have to pay $100 a month.
Correct.
That's right. So you see, if I go to like my personal, I don't know, I think I got 12,000 or something on my personal now. If I come over here, let's say that means I have to do that one. It's going to cost me $200 a month or $230 a month if I pay for the whole year at 10,000 contacts. So the Wix service you can't beat it. It's affordable. You start off small. It's scalable. You can start off free. And that's the beauty is I'm always of the school. I'm going to start off the cheapest I can to next to nothing and earn to where I can afford to pay the next one and scale and grow it. So Pat, what you're doing with this international network, you have to have a database to capture everybody's leads, 100%. Because they're the ones that are going to support what you're doing. And you can send a payment gateway, send a donation, Cash App.
Yeah, we had a powwow on that today. In
Oh,
fact,
really? Good.
yeah, on these very issues about the back office, and we have a person that I invited them to be on this call, and sometimes they, I couldn't control if they were going to be on it or not, but
Yeah.
I recommended that we start collaborating
Mm-hmm.
to develop a synergy. Since we've asked, and I guess I can relate that to this group, that we've asked Clark to be one of the elders I formed a nonprofit called Transform Humanity. I've got two nonprofits, transformleaders.com and transformhumanity.org. Okay, so transformhumanity.org, once we launched it, it's kind of been sitting dormant. It's a 508 church, a nonprofit, launched out of the Fellowship of Irving,
Hmm.
network of churches.
Yep.
And so uh, Clark and I have asked Clark to consider praying about being an elder to
Yep.
help us launch this. The whole concept is Transform Humanity is the nonprofit, but CRN is the DBA of the nonprofit. It's a media mission.
And CRA is, tell them what CRA stands for.
And we're going to have the seven spheres.
Yeah.
Seven spheres. We'll have missions in the seven spheres to every continent. Now, it's a big vision, and it's like God gave me this vision while I was at Daystar,
Hmm.
but it is literally baby steps right now, Clark.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As you know, because Clark's kind of walked me through and he's visited us, and I've shared with him a lot of intimate details about the challenges with this small little station here in Central Texas, uh, and the growing pains of launching and casting a new network out of it and
Hmm.
detaching from it.
Hmm. Yeah. It's
So
going to be a
what
challenge,
we
but
did was,
we'll do
yeah,
good.
and I can share a little bit of this
Yeah.
with
Okay.
y'all because you've launched a lot of different networks. You and Martin have teamworked in a lot of things. So you understand there is a lot of stuff to this.
Hmm.
Okay. But I think I shared with you a little bit more too about we have a strategic partner now that has come alongside us, uh, Jeff Williams with Worldwide Tech Connections,
Hmm.
and they developed a language translation platform. And
Nice.
so we can run everything through his free. He's not charging us a thing, Clark.
It's awesome.
And so what it looks like now is their team came alongside us and they're developing the website for us for free.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And they're supposed to also set up the database on the back end to then essentially they'll be using our nonprofit
Hmm.
EIN to give everybody that basically taps into CRN
Yeah.
wherever they're at. They will get we'll be able to capture all that data through their system, and
Hmm.
then they're giving us, I guess, I don't know how it is right now, but
Yeah. They're building the website. The
yeah,
database
they're
is going
doing
to
the
go,
back end,
and you'll have the
which
back end. So they're
right,
basically going to
because
be the
I
person that's
brought
going to
all
run all
this
that.
up to them and said, hey, look,
Yes.
we're in baby steps right now, and if you remember the movie Baby Steps,
Yeah.
it's we literally were 3 weeks ago, it was a dream, and now we're in reality therapy. You
It's
know what I
beautiful.
mean?
It's beautiful. It is beautiful. So you'll be able to,
And so,
you'll,
but the good thing is this team, Jeff's team, came alongside us, and now that we're having Zoom calls, I think we lost Clark there. I hope you can still hear us.
No, he's
And we're having Zoom calls just like this
there he is.
with their team, Clark.
Yep, I can hear you. I haven't lost you.
Mhm.
You know what I did? I
That's
got
a
this
kind
little
of a step
switch,
by
Martine.
step.
I turned my camera off.
Oh.
I'm over here tinkering with it and I turned my camera
Techie
off.
101. Don't touch the stuff
Yeah.
when
Don't
work
touch the stuff. That's
Now,
right.
but one of the things, Clark, that I wanted to, and then this Martin
Yeah,
being here and Tina being here,
yeah.
one of the opportunities is once we have a guy like Jeff who is saying, look, I want to bless the body of Christ with this technology and make it with a value proposition that anyone can get in and utilize it, making us CRN the host or the sharer, like
Yeah,
a Joseph with
yeah.
the technology. Because Clark and I talked about the cost of AI and language translation models are very high now.
Hmm.
But when you have a kingdom-minded guy who's willing to offer us this and saying, I'll basically sponsor you, my team will build the website. You
Yep.
you guys don't worry about all this stuff, but let's start figuring out how can we share it with other media professionals in a
Hmm.
wise way as being good stewards of something. That's what I wanted to kind of share with you guys tonight is that that's why I asked Clark. I said, Clark, what we see with the value, Clark is basically his father and he were pioneers.
Hmm.
And of course, Martin, you guys are pioneers in the Christian media
Hmm.
and other media segments,
Yep.
which is hard to find unique people that are still they still very humble
Hmm.
and loving and servant minded, kingdom
Yeah.
minded,
Yeah.
That's
It's a little
harder to
different.
find, isn't it, Clark?
It is a bit different. It's a
So
bit
we
different.
found this with Jeff. This guy basically, they had a chance meeting with Ken, our one of the founders of CRN,
Hmm.
and now this kingdom mindset is coming together. Now it's like a synergy of a team
Hmm.
that we want to help build the body of Christ's power by sharing it without hoarding it and
Hmm.
yet building it wisely. And so that's kind of where we're at right now,
Yep.
Clark, is we had the meeting this morning at the green room there where you and I met with
Okay.
Ken and then they're having Zoom meetings now with this group, Jeff's group
Yep.
of Worldwide Tech Connections, who's building the back end.
Beautiful.
So what he has there,
Now,
CRN stands for Christian Revival Network, and it's a
yes,
full
sir.
network. And the content, like we would create content, produce content, put it on CRN. CRN is going to be broadcasting on Roku and other platforms that cover the whole globe. And as it covers the whole globe, obviously it's reaching out different nations and different places. And the software he's talking about, it's going to translate that software into the language of those nations that the
Yeah,
broadcast is reaching. So
150 different languages. Let me give you the website that you guys can go look. It's called just www.worldwidetechconnections.com. So if you go on that, that is basically who we're working with, and uh, it's worldwidetechconnections.com.
yeah, I'm going on it right now. I'm gonna
Language as a service is
yeah,
his motto. Basically, when you look at about us, it tells you everything. If you
that's
can
it right
go,
here.
Clark, yeah, bring that up to Worldwide Tech Connections. And so a few years ago, Jeff, the founder, Jeff shared with us that during COVID, he asked the Lord for a solution, a language translation solution that would be cutting edge and inexpensive that he could share with the body of Christ
That's incredible.
in media and so on. And
Mhm.
God prayer. And yet he is like Clark and Martin, you guys are business savvy, which he is. So he's already got contracted solutions with a variety of different companies. They're using his platform. And you can see that, yeah, he is obviously knows what he's doing with some of these, and he's got a whole team of different people that back end on whenever he develops
Mhm.
different things. But notice
Yeah, you can see all
the
the different languages.
yeah, the different languages there that he supports instantaneously. It's like 150, and now they're working with Wycliffe Bible translators. They're
Mhm.
actually going to have probably up to 3,500 different dialects,
Wow.
Wow.
which I guess he's running it through this SaaS, through these AI SaaS systems
Yeah, software
that
as a
he
service.
developed. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so then the other thing is then we're working on making sure that anything that goes out that we're stating on CRN that's biblical, it has to be back end. It has to be double checked to make sure it's in the Bible. That it's scriptural,
Mhm.
accurate. And so he has something he's working on that right now, um, that will help um, be
That's
a
awesome.
solution for Christian media people who want to make sure, because we're moving into this AI age where, and that's what I was going to talk about as thought leaders.
Yeah.
The challenge of AI is
I was going to show you this before you get into
truth,
that
is to
thought.
make sure what you're seeing and hearing is true. Because everything out there you see now on video, you can't tell whether it's true or if it's real
It's
or if that
true.
person's real. You know what I mean?
That's
So
so
we'd
accurate.
like, what was it? What Pilate asked Jesus, "What is truth?"
Uh-huh.
I think we're in that day and age, Clark, where people would say, "Well, what is real? What's
What is
true?"
real? They don't know what
Right.
real is.
That's true, and that's why the direct contact, like the trust with people that you know, that's so much more important because you
Yeah.
can't trust any of
Yes,
the digital things because that's why also the community is stronger, in my opinion, and that's what I see than
yes.
before because
Christian
you want
community,
to be
right?
out there and you want to see
Authentic
community.
relationship.
Yes,
Yeah.
authentic and trustworthy, and that's the power also of sharing, and that's what what my mission is like. But it's basically just in the U.S. for now, so just helping also people find things like for the
Yeah.
healthcare because like with
Hmm.
health insurance,
Yes.
people just think okay, that's on the only way we have, but there's other ways like there like
Hmm.
that's why we're so like we're the crusaders for the future of healthcare.
Yes. Yes.
But people don't know and we don't advertise. It's all word of mouth. And how can you share it just within the communities and within, like
Yep.
not the advertising, not the marketing. We don't do any marketing, no advertising. It's just sharing. And that demands community and that
Hmm.
demands just being out there and also yeah, having lots of contacts with people and that's why we also Pastor Clark and I we talked how can I capture because I have like all these contacts,
Yep.
hundreds and hundreds of business cards because I go to networking meetings, I go get 50 business cards, but again, I don't have the time to talk to everybody and follow
Right.
up with everybody. So that's why I mean, people forget they meet me and then we talk 5 minutes and then you don't see each other and you don't know
Hmm.
you forget and that how can we stay connected? That's
That's why the capturing the email address and so forth for what you do, Tina, is so vital because, you
Yes.
think about, so 20 emails a month is respectfully uh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or
Right.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, four times. You send out one email Monday, one email Wednesday, one email Friday,
right.
reminding everybody about your conversation and what you've done. You have to take, this is something real important for everybody to know. Our
At least
brain operates like index cards, and I
touch
call it
points.
I
Right.
call it 137. So your brain concentrate, can remember seven different items on one vertical. So, like car dealers, your brain knows seven car dealers, but it takes a lot to think about it. So, how do you get from the seven cards to the three cards? Those are everybody can pick out three car dealers real fast, one, two, three. But then the other four, you might have a difficult time, but they're still inside your head. So
Right.
everyone moves from seven to three to one. And that's marketing is through repetition and follow ups is you got to get to that one. When you can get to that one, the challenge, like Tina's has such, she's got this incredible product that's affordable healthcare, but people don't buy
Right.
it because she does a solicitation one time to maybe a mixer and event. Then after that, they don't think about her only because Aflac is on everywhere
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
look. It's on their
Right.
email,
Right. Right. Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
on
And
I
I
got
don't
video.
have that power. I
You
yes.
just I
don't
don't
have
have the
that
time.
power.
Not
Right.
yet.
So you're
Yeah, not
competing with
yet.
it. So even more so, the importance of targeted marketing. The moment the person, like what Martine said, the moment the person puts their name and email address and phone number, they trust you. Now you have to hit them as much times as you can with you hit them with an email, you send a text message, you follow up with a phone call, and they're going to say, "Well, I'm thinking about it." And then you're going to send, another email with another reason why they need to subscribe. Click here.
Right.
And then another email, click
And to
here.
me, and not to the company like Aflac, it's like they're
Right,
like
Right.
agents.
right.
I'm not an agent. I just like I
No.
share and so that's why it has to be me because otherwise
Mm-hmm.
it's random and
Mm-hmm.
I have to be that product in a way
Yeah.
to stay connected and offer. I mean, I do a lot of things too
Sure.
to the superfoods, the healthy lifestyle and
Mm-hmm.
all that and also the Christian ministry like connecting with that
Yep.
and that's also my goal is that I offer more like hope. Yeah, there is
Mm-hmm.
hope and also health and getting to the
Yep.
root cause and not having like this industry, the health industry is so sick
Yep.
and like finding an alternative without selling. Like
Yeah.
I'm not telling like all these guys are bad and we're good or something like that, but more like just to that people discover that and find the
Mm-hmm.
way like, oh wow, this is really good. Let me find out more. And and
Mm-hmm.
there's also like a different way of lifestyle. That's great.
Yep.
So that's kind of
So
that's
that's
my
why it's important. If you can think about, Tina, when you have some time, go create a Wix account and play with it and just don't publish it right away, but just kind of figure out and what you can do. And you want me to look at it, I'll look at it, and there's a way you can even invite me and I can help maneuver it the way you want it. And I may not be able to spend a lot of time on it, but I can at least point you away because it's going to be important for you to know what you can do because I want you to update it with all your
right,
information because you have all these things that you do. Well, this like get a website that I would suggest for you is find a domain name that your name is involved in it. Like
right,
it's, Tina's Wall or Tina's Everything or,
right.
or
Yeah,
however you want to get to know. And then you could put your superfood on there. You could put your healthcare. You could put, all the different things that you do, you could put on side that one website. And then you're capturing their email address. Then when you do an email blast, you can put like top part your superfood and the other part is your health and the other part of maybe little tips or how to save money or how to do
right.
business. You
Yeah,
could put all that
travel,
on there.
also the
Yeah, travel,
travel,
everything that you have, you could put on there.
all those
And
things, right.
and Pat, the same thing with you. I know right now
Yeah.
you're in development, but the website, it's going to be good that they have the website. We capture their information and put it on there. And so that way we can help announce it and so forth. So I think we covered some really good grounds. Is there any questions that y'all have outside of everything that I've talked about? Maybe a challenge that y'all are wrestling with? I don't want to, we got about another 15 minutes here, wrapping up 2 hours. This thing went by pretty quick, but
Wow.
I want to
Yeah.
answer some questions. If you have any questions that you'd like, maybe something you're thinking about, or you'd like to know about.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
well,
think, oh,
yeah,
go
okay.
ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, the thing that really jumps in my mind now is for each one of us, what is the need of the hour?
Mhm.
Because, everything we all agree, the technology is exploding and, everything digital, blockchain, everything is exploding so fast. It's hard to keep up because, we were talking years ago about the internet being the big
Mhm. Yeah. Break it up there, Pat.
big
You there?
next big thing. But now
Okay.
AI spin-offs that
Yeah.
are spinning out of it and changing the way we do business so much faster than we used to do.
Hmm.
But what you talked about, Clark, I think is very essential is let's get back to the fundamentals, which is have a database. Because
Hmm.
it all starts with data and information that you know and care enough
Hmm.
with your customers, clients, and church
Hmm.
to remember them and then to keep in touch with them. Because
Right.
without data, they cannot establish community.
Hmm.
Right.
You
That's
cannot
exactly
keep in
right.
touch with your
That's
church
key.
community
Right.
in this day and age because things are happening so much faster.
Right. And you
You
Yeah.
can't
lose
be
touch.
everywhere. That's
So
the
I
big
think what
difference.
you talked about was it's the need of the hour.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt like, okay, God was Holy Ghost inspired, you know?
Good, good.
The other thing is I wanted to bring up was um, with the uh, expansion and explosion of tech and
Mhm.
digital technology and so on, and the need for a basic foundational database and keeping track of people in your church and community. The next thing is, um, are we moving into, is more of a question. I believe we're moving into what many call the fullness of God
Yeah.
for this day and age. And the word in the Greek is pleroma. It's in Romans, I think it's chapter 10 or 11, where it says the fullness of God. And Paul uses the phrase. And when we start seeing and understanding that there are certain times in history where God just moved sovereignly
Mhm.
and the fullness of God came for that moment in time, which is the need of the hour. We need him like never before, especially as business leaders, church leaders, faith leaders, thought leaders.
Mhm.
I just wanted to challenge you to ask about how do you all ask the Lord, I need more of you, fill me up, fullness.
Mhm.
Because that's what I've been asking the Lord. I said, give me your wisdom, give me your knowledge, give me the mind of Christ. Have y'all been through that? Kind of been feeling that? I don't know. I've been,
Well, yeah, there's a fullness of time. So for instance, in Galatians chapter 4, it makes a statement. He says, "But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his son, born of a woman, born under the law, to redeem those who were under the law, that we might receive the adoptions of sons." The statement right over here is saying the fullness of times is, we work so hard to start, but the patience, the fullness of time is
right.
about patience of being able to fulfill what you started. And you make a key point here is that with all this technology and AI and so forth, we can get lost in all the new buzz. And coming back, one of the reasons why I wanted to say this about the database, it's like what was old is new. And if we can
Yes.
understand, that's really a fullness of time. It's not so much that what is old is new. It's and there's no way I can ever compare myself to a woman who gives birth to a baby, but there comes a time that the baby's about to come. They just can't handle it anymore. And it's kind of like, oh, you're pregnant to a lot of people that barely see you, but you've been lugging this child around for 6 months, 8 months, and there's a fullness of time of it. There comes time that there's a
Yes.
birth. And so, if I would say anything about the fullness of time, what I see happening right now is that all the labors that we all have been doing, the work that Tina's been doing, sometimes, you might find yourself where, man, I'm so perplexed that I've been doing this for how long, and I've been traveling, and I think you may think to yourself, I don't know, do I
Right.
keep doing this or not? And I've
Exactly.
learned that there comes a time that it's that dedication and that faithfulness and that stick-to-itiveness that fullness of time comes in to where there's a birth that takes place
Yes.
of all the
Yes.
labor that you've done. And I'm sitting in a day today that if it wasn't for, when I was 12 years old and created a database that I understand now, that having
Yes.
these now databases, it's
Yes.
never changed, but I had to accept it. There was a time I didn't want to do a database. I didn't want to email people because I was going to drive everybody mad. And it took a time for me to realize if I can get you to hit unsubscribe, I know that I had to look at that as I've did my job.
Hmm.
I either you became a customer and you don't need anymore,
Yeah.
or you know what, I'm just so fed up because I've heard a lot about it. At least I've distinguished. I don't want to hear any more of it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but those
It's
people that are just those friends that is, hey, it's good to see you again. I'm not doing my job until I wear them out of me.
right. Yeah.
You
And
know?
I think let me just say this one thing because like in television, when I worked in television, I was always dealing with databases because like when you have to send out
Yes.
information, you have to, and I hated it to the degree of like, I don't have tech knowledge and I was still hoarding all the contacts. I remember when I left the industry, I printed out all my contacts and it was like, I don't know, 1,000 pages or something. It was like
Wow.
crazy, but I thought I had to capture them and the only way for me to capture them was printing them out. And now they're
Wow.
rotting somewhere in my storage in Germany. But still, I have all these layers of contacts in my phones, like from Germany, from anywhere, and that's also like I feel like I'm like pregnant with all these contacts and all the business cards and all that stuff, and it's not organized, and
Mm,
that's why I can't really utilize it. But my goal is also to be a kingdom worker, to share, to get back to these people, and in any
Right.
which way, and
yeah.
because I touched their lives in some way, or they touched my, for some reason we were connected, and that
Yes.
would be the ultimate to be connected again, and actually, especially with my German, all these German people that I know, because they're all
Mhm.
agnostics, they don't really care, they believe in materialism, and so like I want to be part of like at least seeding to them and
Mm,
being
Yes.
a role model in many ways to my family too, because they're very critical about like, okay, what are you like a religious crazy person now? Like what's going on with you? Like why are you doing that? And it's all about money. Of course they always think everything I do or we do is about money.
Yes.
The Americans just want to make money. They just care about money. There's no content. It's all money. And they don't understand what's going on. Oh, Trump is all about money. No, they don't understand the spirit.
yeah.
And because they're so misguided, and I want to make a difference. And with all the contacts that I have, just get them somewhere, yeah,
You could
organized. And
do
Well,
it. You
if
can
I
do
can
it.
give you, if I can just add a little bit of, uh, um,
Yes.
listen, I've been working television since 95, 96. Working with
Wow.
Clark, working with Clark since 99 with him.
me,
And
92, since 92.
oh,
Woo!
that's like, dude, this is like a
You put up
long
with
time.
him all that time, Martin?
I actually,
You are a precious,
I've been with
patient
Clark since
man.
99. I'm gonna say to that 99,
To-
I've been in touch
Yeah.
with his ministry. However, there's a story behind it. For a whole year, Clark Ortiz knew my name. I was sending TV shows. By the way, not getting any money, just sending TV shows to him, helping them in the ministry for a whole year. And it took a year, almost 2000, for Clark Ortiz. When who is this guy? He's been sending all this stuff. But you know what he did? I would send him an email once a week. Clark, you remember that?
Yeah.
Hey, because I would send an email. I have shipped a TV show and I would send it to Ruben Avila, who's my bud, and he was the one that's working at the station. Or I would send it to Jackie or whoever the staff is. But I would always CC Clark.
Hmm.
And I would say, here's the TV show that I have. Here's a new counsel that I found. Obviously, it's completely free. Keep the tape if you need it. And I did that for a whole year. And then I remember a year later, I got a call from Ruben who said, hey, Martin, I know you've been trying to connect with Clark and he's been very busy and everything, but he's going to be in Florida and he's going to go see you. So when I finally met him, and he realized, oh my God, I thought you were somebody else that I didn't like. You had the same name, but you were somebody else that I hated.
It
And
was a the strong word hate, but it was a guy that made me lose millions of dollars. His name was
so,
Martin Camacho.
so when
And
he
I said,
heard
I'm never
Martin,
going to talk to this guy ever in my life.
never again. But see what happened is I want you to when you look at when you started the database and you're
Yeah.
sending it to all these people, I want you to, because you're never gonna know
Yeah.
when that person that you contact all of a
Yeah.
sudden, man, I'm in trouble. I need some health care.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I've been getting this email. Or
Mhm.
I'm in trouble. My spirit is not doing good. Let me turn on to this channel in Kalim. Or let me go to TV. Or you're never gonna know what
Mhm.
Right.
that outreach does to people
Yeah.
until it works for people. So I
Yeah.
Right.
want you to understand that it isn't just a matter of business, is we are humans and we live and die of contact. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
you never know when someone's contact is gonna pop up. When you're gonna pop up in somebody's life, or when somebody's gonna pop up in your life, you just don't know it. But you'll never know it unless you start it.
That's
And you
right.
started organizing, and you
Yeah.
started saying, you know what? I might start with 20 people. I might start with 100. And but before you know it, you'll have thousands of people. And then the question becomes, how can I now you have an audience.
Right. How
Now,
can you serve them? How can
now
you
you have
best
an
serve
audience. So
them?
now you gotta be careful. And that's gonna be the next step on the phone calls. Okay, now you got an audience. How can we help you build that audience? But everything starts, get an audience.
Yeah.
Get a small website, get a database, get into the habit of sending 1 to 3 emails per week. If you go back into this call and the Zoom, Clark already told you what times to send it, how often to send it, and how to build this database. So if I can tell you, just do it, okay?
Yeah.
Just do it. You might hate it, you may not like it, but you will reap the benefits of being able to have people on their circle, that you're going to be on their circle of influence, because you're going to become a person of influence. By the way, when I have our phones has become a Rolodex.
Yeah.
If I ever need, let me tell you something where I become more efficient for Clark. Clark will call me or text me, bro. Do you remember so and so from this place to that place? Or I need something. Boom, I'm responding because I got it on a database. There are times that he puts on Facebook, how do I do this? And boom, I answer it. You want to become a person of interest, a person of knowledge.
Right.
And that's the most powerful thing, because people can say, oh my God, this guy knows everything. It's not that I know everything.
Yeah.
It's that I know enough, and I have enough contacts, and I've been long enough, and I keep all these contacts that people, I have friends from 1969 in kindergarten that we are still in touch.
Wow. So, but that's great connector. So if
Yeah.
I'm looking, like I'm in South Florida and I'm looking for somebody, I would now, like, I know, okay, you have so many, I'm going to talk to you for sure because you have all these contacts. So I trust you that you know somebody. You want to be that it's kind of like an influencer in a way, like
Yeah.
now they call it influencer, but because you have the answer to a lot of questions. And
But the key concept that I want you to understand in tonight's call, everything starts on a database.
Yeah.
And your life is going to be so much better if you start building a database.
with
Right now, you
organization.
might not have one. So step number 1, let's get a website. But the biggest reason is, let's get a database. Start organizing all your names, putting together, because the beautiful thing about now in computers and phones is once you type them once, you never have to type them again. They're there.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you can flash them out and not just have a phone number, but have an email. And I think that's important because with phone, you cannot really follow up like that. I mean, you can text things, but
Biggest thing you can do is
people
email.
don't check like their text. They read like maybe 3 lines. And I notice that because I'm very elaborate and people don't even read it. I mean, they're like, if you have more than 3 lines, it's too much. So you just have to be very brief on text. And then in email, you can be more elaborate. And of course, you have to add pictures because that's what jumps out. But
Right.
yeah, it's really true. The database is like the number one thing, and then of course the content. But we just have to organize the content and also collaborate. I love to collaborate also, like with like the verse of the day, something like that, where we have that integrated, even for people, not to put off people that are not believers, because of
Right.
course you have to be kind of treading that path. If it's too much, then they just reject it. But just like little hit, like a pill, like you have the sugar and then you have the truth. The center is like, okay, this is what actually strengthens you. The outside is like, looks like fun, like nice candy, but then it's actually not candy, it's real. It's like
That's
the
so
knowledge.
true. That's so true. Well, this is awesome. And, I want to wrap this up with just this one final thought. Having a database and building the database, it's easy to get it started. It's not the easiest thing where you're going to see response right away, but it's kind of like you're taking a pebble and you're throwing it in a pond, and you keep throwing those pebbles inside a pond. And before you know it, you'll end up, those pebbles will begin to pile up outside the pond where you can see them, you can walk on them, you can tread your space. It's almost like walking on water. And so I like what Martine said. It's the key thing to do is just do it. And then when you do it, just don't get so caught up on what's happening. Just keep going and make it part of your life that you'll never quit. That's what I like about the Wix service is you can start off for free at about 200 names. That's when you're going to start seeing some returns, and you can start deciding, okay, make a little investment here, a little investment there. You don't have to get broke on it, and you start somewhere. Guys, I thank you all so much for being with me. I thank you for being part of this, Thought Leaders. I hope that you see the great value in it. Tina, I'm going to make sure that you don't have to worry about the fees again for the next time. You just do, I know the $7 isn't going to break anybody, and
It's like a Starbucks coffee these days.
that's right.
Oh, heck no, Starbucks is more expensive than $7.
But
That's
Tina
true,
bought.
depending on if you have the extra,
That's
right?
right. Tina she didn't know where the link was again, so she decided, I'm going to do it again. I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to be on there no matter what. I'm
no
going to pay
matter what.
$7.
You're a trooper. It's awesome. And I thank you all for being part of it. And,
Thank
you
you.
know,
Thanks for.
Thank you for putting this up, and thank you for
thank you.
all contributing. I mean, great
Amen.
team, great
Tell
group.
others know if you could
Got
let
to
others
it.
know about it. I want to make myself, I'm not going to do this every week, but I think I'm going to do it one more time in November and probably I think the 14th. And just tell other people about it that you think would be valuable for them to come and ask some questions. I think this was good content, but moving forward, there'll be, I know, a lot of thoughts, a lot of questions, things that you can ask. Even I'm going to encourage people, I'm going to start sending out some newsletters to let people know, just take a list of some of the questions that you may have. How do you do this? How do you do that? Topics that we'll be covering in the future is how do you do social media advertising? And, you can literally take, just to give a little teaser out there, you can literally take and put $1 a day on Facebook and see returns on money that will come in on just $1 a day. So $30 a month. And you can have ads running and you'll be building your database, be building your connections. You can do an event. And then it just grows from there. And I want to talk about how all that goes and how to be able to really grow your business in other areas. So there's a lot of information that I have that I just got to get out of me and put it into you so that way y'all can be extremely successful. Okay. So thank you so much for
Thank you.
being with
Thank
me.
you.
All right.
Thank you, Clark.
Awesome.
Let's
Thank you.